This is quality content. Dude is my age. Marcus is my age, and he's got like 50 years of fucking experience already.
Because both the fuck out of her chance.
Louis Armstrong was the midwife that helped birth ska from the cloaca of punk.
You guys heard it here first at LTN Media. There's packs of wild stray dogs that control most of the major cities. Anytime you just hear, almost the lava. It's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
One. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Less Than Normal. As we enter the season of it getting colder and you wanting to curl up with someone at night, remember, if you're going to play slap and tickle, wrap that pickle. Chris?
Disappointed.
Why are you disappointed?
I was just, come on. Hello, everyone.
Can I make it worse?
Less Than Normal. I am Chris. And joined with me, as always, are two people that I have with me all the time. Dave and Bree.
Happy Leif Erikson Day. Yinga-dinga-durgan.
That's right, it is Leif Erikson Day, isn't it? Happy Leif Erikson Day to everybody. Also, before we get started, everyone go to our Discord server, go to social media, go everywhere, and wish our CEO, D-Bag, a very happy birthday.
Otherwise
She
known
might
as
want to
D.
change her handle.
No, it's perfect for her. We love you, D. You are
Yes.
the best. You are the best.
I actually wrote a thing to her in Discord that I also wanted to record here for her for posterity. Commendation for another cycle completed. To date, one person has escaped the simulation. Simulation stability at 99.999999994%. Do not attempt to leave the simulation. Do not attempt to destabilize the simulation. Either of these actions will result in your immediate removal from the algorithm. Enjoy your cake.
Is Keanu Reeves the one person to have escaped the simulation?
Yes.
Okay. I assumed.
He just comes back to visit and be in movies.
What a hero that man is. Oh my god. So great. Before we get started with the show, shout out to the squad over at Miles of Motorsports, where you can hear me as well. 959watd.com. There's also going to be some fun content collaborations this weekend with me and the squad over at Miles on Motorsports. So check our YouTube channel for that in the future. Some really cool opportunities are coming. Bree, we're going to start with you this week because we always start with Dave. How was your week?
I almost broke my finger on Saturday. I had to get my mom to reset it. Lots of working at the haunt attraction, which I love. Everybody at my day job at Krispy Kreme hates me now for no absolute goddamn reason. I'm finding a new job.
Yay!
That's how my week's been.
We love new jobs. We love new opportunities.
Because else I'm going to jail.
Yeah, you know what? Fucking been there. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Anywho, Dave, I hope your week causes less prosecution.
Yeah, it's been all right. I've been digging around with Baldur's Gate 3, working on Bard files. We actually have some of the final documents for Bard files complete. The character sheet is done. Have you seen it, Chris?
I haven't seen the complete one. I saw the first one that you did.
The rough draft that I did?
Yeah.
I am going to put it here in the chat with us, and then I'll use that to share it on screen because it'll give me a link.
Perfect.
If I can find the chat with us. God, I used to be good at this, guys.
We're professionals. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's page 1.
Page 1?
And that's page 2 for the portrait and the equipment and character notes and stuff like that.
All right. So you mean I got to redo Ivan again?
You've had to redo Ivan.
But he's perfect. Ivan is a perfect character. Ivan can kill people with his bare hands, but prefers to use his words. What you looking at, Brie?
What?
Hi, welcome back.
Sorry, I heard the words Ivan and I started scrolling through something, trying to figure out. Okay, it is on there. Never mind.
What?
Here is an example that's, well, I wanted the image link and not the Imgur, but hang on, I might be able to fix this actually. Yeah, no, that's a dot. That's just okay, whatever. Anyway, it looks good. Big thanks to Kate. She's also going to be doing all of the layouts for the book.
Hell yeah.
Which she is kind of working on formatting options, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, because assembling a book is really complicated.
Yeah.
And you need enough things to be able to do different types of page layouts while it all keeping the same generalized theme.
Right.
Yeah. So she's looking through old documents, etc., because it's all going to look like stuff.
Bad.
But yeah, huge, just enormous shout out to her for getting that done. That is fucking-sane.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Kate.
And then I may have figured out a way to put guns back into our Baldur's Gate 3 Sunday playthrough. So that man runs at me with a sword and I shoot him in the face.
Bow! What happened? Me? I don't have a problem. You have a bullet
what
inside
the
you.
Is... Why'd you bring a gun? It's not a gun. It's a magic wand. It fires lead projectiles.
That's a gun.
It's got somatic components. I just have to move my hand like this. No. That's just a gun. No. It's a magic wand. Then what kind of magic does it do? Death? Death magic?
Death magic.
I magically put holes in people with my magic wand. It's a gun!
It's a gun! Oh, shit.
Well, it's like I cast blindness. Throws sand in opponent's eye.
Ninja dust!
The funny thing is, for the material component to cast the blindness spell to make an opponent blind,
yeah,
is sand. It's a handful of sand.
Oh yeah.
you're not casting a spell at that point. You are just throwing sand in that man's eye.
Literally. Yeah, literally.
And so I thought it would be funny to kind of reframe a character where they do all of these things that they call magic, but none of it's magic. Oh, I know how to magically unlock doors. Okay. Hits it with a hammer. What
Hits
the
it.
fuck? You didn't unlock the door. It's broken. Yeah, I cast Shatter. No. You didn't cast nothing. You hit it with a fucking hammer.
Is the door open? Yeah. Then shut the fuck up.
Right? What kind of
Shit.
wizard are you? I'm a muscle wizard. My muscles make my hands do magic things. Like what? Well, muscle wizard cast fist? No. You're just punching that man. Yes, because I've trained my muscles so much to the point they've become magic. No, that's not... Dave, you're just hitting that guy.
This has been another Dave's Nerdy Moments.
It's fun, though.
That's right. Listen, the fact that you've played a lot of Baldur's Gate. Like, so hold it. I feel like for everyone, we need to know what your number is in hours played. And will I throw up?
Well, I told you. So last week when we looked, it was 720. Do you want to know what it is now, a week later?
What is it?
804.
Okay, so I can't really say much because I have about 1,300 hours in Grand Theft Auto 5 online, which equivalents out to like, I think it's end up like 54 days or something. It's probably more. Last time I checked, it was like 54 days or something. But that's also in the like 11 years that game has been out.
This game has been out a year.
That's horrifying, Dave.
I put in 80-ish hours in the last week. However,
motherfucker, you were streaming for like 12 hours the other day.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times on this playthrough. But also, so one of the reasons I dove so hard back into Baldur's Gate is because I'm currently trying to make a tabletop role-playing game. Baldur's Gate is very closely based on one of my favorite tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons. And it's easier for me to think about things and solve, because right now I'm trying to fine-tune mechanics, right?
Right.
And it's easier. I've gotten little inspiration here and there from how the game handles things. And Baldur's Gate is more transparent with how some of those mechanics are handled than other games like Skyrim would be.
Right.
Because it's very strongly based on a tabletop role-playing game. And so it's kind of one of those things where I'm either working on Bard or I'm playing Baldur's Gate and working on Bard in the back of my head, kind of looking for things. Oh, this is how they do this. Well, what if I did it this way? Because my system does this instead of that. Sort of things, right?
It's fair.
And
meanwhile,
you know me,
Bree
I
has
hyperfixate.
checked the fuck out of the conversation.
Hi, Bree.
How to tell Bree doesn't give a fuck about the conversation. She's just like, no, you guys go ahead. I'll talk. Call me when it's something I'm interested in.
Call me when it's Marvel.
Oh my god. Well, anywho, shall we get on with the show?
I thought
I am
we were
excited
already doing
for. You know what? This is fair. We are, in fact, on our show sheet. Can anyone guess the #1 movie in the box office this week?
Is it The Wild Robot again? Because I know what it's not.
No, it's not, actually.
It's not Joker. It's not
Dave,
Joker.
what do you think?
It better not be Joker.
#1 in the box office in its opening weekend was the Joker sequel. Made $38 million opening weekend. which is having people call for Morbius to be put back in theaters.
Again, for the third time. Because they said, you know what? At this point, throw it back
because
in.
it's okay. This movie has a 5.3 IMDb rating.
Don't they rate out of 100?
It's 10 stars.
Okay.
The Metascore is 45.
The movie making of it isn't that bad. It's not a train wreck like Morbius is, but the movie content is pissing people off, and the movie was made to piss people off. Because I have an update when we're done with the box office stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What game was that? Where no matter what you did, the characters went, okay.
I know. Number
is Wild
2
Robot
in the
number 2?
Wild Robot is number 2 in its second week in the box office, made $19 million. It is total grossing $68 million in the US. Number 3.
Well, at least Wild Robot did more in its opening week than Joker 2.
Oh, yeah. It did like 40 million almost. 50 million, I think it was. Something like that. Beetlejuice at number 3 in its fifth week in the box office, made $10 million over the weekend. $267 million its total gross. Transformers
The
1
US
in its
or
third
worldwide?
US. So all of the numbers through IMDb are strictly US. Transformers 1 comes in at number 4 in its third week in the box office, made $5.4 million. 48 million total grossing in the United States.
I've slowly started seeing kind of stuff trickle into my feeds. Apparently, it's pretty good.
It's got a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. So
that's apparently it's pretty good.
Well, to be fair, there's some movies on here that I've never even fucking heard of that have a better rating. Speak No Evil comes in at number 5. Fourth week in the box office, made $2.8 million, total grossing $33 million. And its opening weekend, this movie called Sam and Colby, The Legends of the Paranormal, had a
Sam and Colby, they're YouTubers.
Yeah, well, they have a fucking movie that was in theaters, and it comes in at number 6.
Hang on. YouTubers I've never heard of made a movie that not only went to theaters, but wound up on this list.
Yeah.
They were pretty big. They were a pretty big deal like 5-6 years ago, but they were a pretty big deal within a very certain subsection of YouTube.
Right. Number 7 on the list. Can anyone just take a guess at what number 7 could be?
Jesus movie.
No.
I'm trying to think of what's come out.
Better than a Jesus movie.
Is it Rocky Horror Picture Show?
No, Dave. It's not going to be Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is it Coraline?
It's not. It is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which still isn't on Disney Plus, by the way.
October 25th. Yes, it is. It's on. No, it's not.
I thought it was October 1st.
October 1st, it's available for digital rental. It is not available on until October 25th. But Inside Out 2 is available on Disney Plus. And it's
who cares? I want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Office. Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.6 million last week. Total grossing in the US alone is $634 million.
It's the highest grossing movie of the year. I don't think anything's beating it at this point.
Unless
Terrifier 3 just breaks the universe.
Well,
you're right. We don't have another Marvel movie coming out.
We have Wicked. Wicked might make money.
From the director of Jesus Revolution and A Man Called Otto comes a movie in at number 8 in its opening weekend called White Bird.
Oh, that movie just came out. I've been seeing trailers for that for the last year.
Yeah. So for those who aren't familiar, struggling to fit in at his new school after being expelled for his treatment of Augie Pullman, Julian is visited by his grandfather and is transformed by the story of her attempts to escape Nazi-occupied France during World War II. Okay. Cool.
It does look like a cute movie if you're in to watch the trailer if that sounds interesting at all.
Well, it made $1.6 million last weekend. Number 9 is The Substance in its third week, made $1.4 million. It has grossed a total of $9.7 million.
The
I
Substance?
still have to watch that.
Yeah,
I still have to watch that.
I know it looks very interesting. And
But
number
that
10 is
2 hours.
Megalopolis. 1.1 million in its second week.
No, okay, hang on. I would like to point out that movie it's a Francis Ford Coppola movie. In its second week, it only made a little over $1 million. It's not very good.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
From what I've heard is basically it is Francis Ford Coppola making a movie for himself, by himself, for nobody else. He doesn't care if audiences like it. It is a movie for him, and that's all he cares about.
Because it's his final
that's
film.
Also, when we talked about it briefly last week, that's what I have been seeing too.
Yeah. Notable movies that come out this weekend are Terrifier 3 and Saturday Night.
I will be seeing Terrifier 3 on Sunday. Chris, pray for me.
Oh, I'm gonna laugh the whole time. You're like, I was so scared. Suck it up, bitch. You'll be all right.
I'm gonna watch the movie like this.
I'm here for all of the horror movies that'll be coming out this month.
I'm here for all of them that don't involve a scary clown.
And my mom's afraid of clowns too, and I always just say, I'm like, I don't know why everyone's so afraid of clowns.
I don't know. My fight, flight, or freeze kicks in. Usually, flight or freeze is the winning options.
Okay, so I would like to point out a problem that I have had in my life. So my fight or flight response is exclusively fight, and has been since elementary school for a variety of reasons. But when somebody startles you awake out of a dead sleep and you punch them in the face,
and they kind of had that.
My brother does that. Well, I don't know if my brother still does that, but for a while, if you like startled him awake, he would start swinging.
You're getting knocked the fuck out. You do that shit.
It's only an issue if you are like also looming over me. Like if you're leaning over me and your face is in my face and you're waking me up, I instantly think I'm being attacked, and it's weird.
Facts.
But
no,
I'm if you shake my shoulder or shake my leg, like I'll wake, and there's just enough lead time there for me to realize I was sleeping. But yeah, you can shake my toe. That's fine. Probably.
Chris,
I don't know that anybody's ever tried it.
You said Terrifier 3, and what was the other movie that you said comes out this week? Because
Saturday Night.
Yes, there's another movie called Piece by Piece, which is a Lego biopic about Pharrell Williams.
Oh, shit. What? I need to see this. I
don't like biopics.
I love fucking Legos and Pharrell.
And it has, who else? It has Snoop Dogg, Gwen Stefani, Kendrick Lamar.
Snoop Dogg, Timbaland, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, Daft Punk, Busta Rhymes, Pusha T, North.
As Legos.
It's Kiv. Morgan Neville, who is the director. Bro, I'm here for whatever the fuck this is.
I have been seeing this trailer for months and been like, what is this? Why are they Lego?
Also, another My Hero Academia movie is coming out. So if you're into anime, there you go.
I didn't know there was a first My Hero Academia movie.
I didn't know
There's
that
a
there.
bunch of them.
I'm
And
assuming that
I
there's probably a
like
shit
My
ton
Hero
of them.
Academia. I've seen the first 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons, something like that.
Well, now there's a
This
movie.
is being re-released in theaters
Fuck yeah.
this weekend. But I have to work. Oh, and I believe, the
technically working this week.
Superman, the Christopher Reeve story also comes out this weekend.
I do want to see that. It looks phenomenal. It's
I just hope they
basically a
include the
documentary.
part about him breaking open fetuses and drinking their
I'm sorry. What?
It's from a South Park
The
episode.
fuck did you just say?
It's from a
I'm
South
like,
Park
did you
episode.
want him to continue talking right there?
I was like, fucking, I'm
Stem
sorry.
cells. That's the word.
Anywho.
It's one of the few South Park bits I know, and it's hilarious.
What are you doing? Are you a little warm? You a little fan?
Yes, because
I'm your
I
biggest
don't
fan.
I don't know what's going on, but it's hot in my room, and if I turn my fan up, it sounds like it's trying to come out of the ceiling. It doesn't. It just sounds like it is.
Not good.
You know, I prefer not to have things sound like they're trying to escape in a way that will damage me either. Whether or not they're going to do it, the sound is anxiety inducing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. There was a light that I disabled in my old house because it always sounded like it was trying to start a fire. Because it went zzz. But it was, no, it was one of those old fluorescent lights, though, that buzz because it's a fluorescent light. I still hated it. So I just took the bulb out of it and used the other 12 lights in the kitchen. There weren't really 12 other lights, but there was like this little fluorescent light just above the sink that turned on with the rest of the kitchen lights.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to undo that. That's unnecessary, and I don't like the sound it makes. Especially near water, like doing dishes and constantly hearing electricity buzz is weird, man.
Yeah. Hey, Bree, do you have any movie reviews?
I do not have a movie review this week, but I do have a couple updates about my last movie review.
Okay.
So still, I'm going to be talking about a statement that Todd Phillips put out, like officially to the internet. So it is not spoiler induced. Like there's no spoilers in it, but if you still want to check this movie out, here's your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the theory I was talking about last week in my movie review, apparently it's not a theory. I either missed something or other people, because the way that something is shot is very strange. So it's like, how did people catch this weird thing that came up came up with this theory? And then Todd Phillips basically confirmed that, yeah, that's what we were going for. And I'm paraphrasing his exact statement, but he also said, and this is where the spoiler, it's not spoilers, but just in case, this is where it comes in, that Joker in his universe is not a person, it's an idea of how society treats mental illness. So anybody can, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing, but basically that is somewhat of the statement he put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's face.
Yeah.
He also said that he is exiting the DC and will not be making any more DC movies. I said, "Yep, that's good." I love
Yeah.
the Joker. I get the people that don't. I get the people that don't like the first one because it's more of a character study piece and less of a Joker comic book movie. But I do
Right.
really enjoy the first one.
I did
But
too.
this movie, that statement kind of ruins and makes the first and second movie both feel pointless now because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so we watched two movies of a character that you said was the Joker, even though yes, he has a name, Arthur Fleck. You said he was the Joker, and now you're saying that Joker's not a person; it's an idea.
What I'm hearing is I'm hearing a director trying to cover his own ass for making a bad movie.
Because it's not even bad in a traditional sense of like Madam Web. It's bad in the sense of it's not a comic book
No, no,
film.
no,
It's
no, no,
not
no.
a
It's
movie
bad
made
in the
for the
same sense
Joker.
as Madam Web because they fucked up. They fucked up the core character concepts for the characters involved and changed so many things to make it indistinguishable from any other movie with any other character names.
Yeah.
That is a
Because
problem. That is the
when
same
I say
problem the
bad,
Borderlands movie had.
because when I say bad in the sense of Madam Web was bad in both that sense and just movie making. The Joker is made well. It is acted well. It is shot well. It's just you have removed all core personality
Story
traits,
sucks.
everything of what these characters are. If you wanted to tell
Right.
this story, tell it with other characters. Do not ruin the character of the Joker. Do not ruin the character of Harley Quinn. Do not ruin all these iconic characters that people love.
Yeah, but if they slap a name on it, they get to make a toy and we'll sell more tickets.
But how do you make it's a rated R movie? You can't make well, I mean, you probably can make kids' toys from rated R movies.
I always have. I had a fucking Freddy toy when I was a kid. Little Freddy action figure.
Yeah. They also have
Do you know how many of my
Wheels.
contemporaries I knew who owned Chucky dolls? In
Yeah.
like fourth
I
grade?
want a Chucky doll. I want a Tiffany
I don't know,
doll.
Dave. Your life is fucking crazy. So I have never met anyone who has the like wildest experiences, like and the craziest stories to tell.
See, and I thought all this shit is normal.
No, fam.
Like, other than the trauma part of
There's
dealing
been
with
some
some
shit
of
where
my
I'm like,
peers.
what the fuck, man? Oh, so funny.
That's
You
my
mean
update
not
from.
never mind. I can't say that on air.
Yeah, that's my update for Joker. Is that basically what it feels like is that fans came up with this theory and now he's like, yeah, that's totally what I meant by the ending. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. That's what we were going for. Yes.
It's like when The Flash came out and Andy Bucciati tried to explain away the bad CGI, but you can't explain that bad CGI. It's
That
just bad
movie's
CGI.
terrible. That movie's just bad.
The movie's not even that bad. The story's fine. It's just the CGI sucks so much.
Dave, you have an
Check
honorable
Discord
mention.
and then I will delete the message. That's what I was going to say.
No, Dave. No.
That one is kind of wild. It's also not something I talk about.
Anywho,
well,
yeah.
it's not something I should talk about. I told
But
him
yeah.
no.
Well, tell us about your honorable mention, Dave.
Oh, hey. So this week we are going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Cave Johnson himself, Mr. J.J. Jameson, and a million other fucking characters, including the main guy for the Farmers Insurance commercials right now, J.K. fucking Simmons.
You're also forgetting the yellow M&M himself.
The yellow M&M him fucking self. This man has been active in some performance setting since 1970 fucking 7.
Yeah.
He's done stage, he's done screen, he's done voice acting, he's done everything. I saw somewhere, but I can't find it again, that he was a professional drummer in a band at one point.
I told you he 100%ed life, and now he's doing side quests.
Yes. For instance, more recently, he played Ketherick Thorm in Baldur's Gate 3, which is what made me realize I should talk about him, because he's done everything. Cave Johnson from the Portal games. The man is fucking hilarious. He's in Gravity Falls, Kung Fu Panda. He plays fucking Omni-Man in Invincible.
Yeah, dude, J.K. Simmons has been a Hollywood legend.
He played BR in
forever.
Thank You for Smoking, which if you haven't seen Thank You for Smoking, it's about the start of tobacco lobbying and
Yeah.
Congress. It sounds boring. It's actually really cool.
Right.
And he has a movie coming out next month with The Love of My Life.
Look, if they hadn't pulled Harrison Ford, Simmons was going to be my choice for the replacement for General Ross.
But it would have been
he's
hard
J. Jonah
considering he's
Jameson.
already in the MCU.
I know, but still, like, if he was the only person who would come to my mind who kind of has that commanding, gruff demeanor. He's also funny as shit.
He's so funny. We talked about before the show some of the movies that he was in, and how I said that my favorite role he's ever been in was Whiplash. Obviously, me being a musician, loving a music movie, but it's such a wild role, and it does play into his drumming knowledge, because he plays a like a band
Scary man. A very scary man who throws chairs or drum sets or something at people.
At fucking Miles Teller.
Yes. I haven't seen the movie. I've seen clips, and it's just all the clips are just him screaming in Miles Teller's face and throwing things at him.
Yeah. Sorry, I heard my name spoken on the show, and I was like, "Oh, they're talking about me." My brain. Yeah, no, I love J.K. Simmons. I think what were we saying before, Dave? That he's kind of like that utility guy that R. Lee Ermey turned into at one point.
Yeah, well, and
He's
more
just
than
there.
that, if you want a commanding voice that's kind and gentle, you hire Morgan Freeman. If you want a commanding voice that sounds good saying fuck 100 times, you hire Samuel L. Jackson. If you want anything else, it's this fucking guy.
It's J.K. Simmons.
It's J.K. Simmons. If you need a commanding tone that's neither of those other guys, he's it, because Arlie's gone. And Arlie was kind of that other filler. He was also fucking hilarious, by the way.
Oh my god, he was so funny.
And he was never funny in his roles. He's always hilarious in blooper reels.
He was in,
and I saw
R. Lee Ermey was in The Departed, I believe, as the police chief. And his character was hilarious, because it was like, yo, wait, what?
I don't think I've seen The Departed.
It was a good movie.
But yeah, no. And I wanted to make sure that I got J.K. Simmons in before January, because in January he turned 70, which means he is currently 69.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which reminds me, hey, y'all leave J.K. Simmons alone. I will tear in my way up there. Y'all leave that man alone.
Fuck with the boy.
You leave my J.J. Jameson alone.
I would also like to point out that for a guy who is very nearly 70, he's looking and doing pretty good for his age.
He looks amazing. Yeah, he looks fantastic for 69 years old.
That's about all I have to say on just that. He's won Academy Awards, British Academy Film Awards, Golden Globe Awards. Oh, and that was all just for his role in Whiplash, by the way.
Yeah. Which was an independent film that, here, let me see, how much has it?
Other things you may have seen that he was in: Cider House Rules, Burn After Reading, Up in Air, Jennifer's Body, La La Land. He reprised his role as J.J. Jameson in Justice League in 2017, and I feel I could never feel worse for a human being unless he had potentially been in, also been in the Borderlands movie.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff on TV. He does commercials. He does voice acting. He's a jack of all trades, and he is one of my favorite voices in Hollywood. Because, if you're playing a video game and you start to hear his voice, you're like, oh, yep, this is going to be wild.
Oh, yeah.
You should watch
that being said,
called Glorious.
Do what?
You should watch a movie called Glorious. It's the one where he plays a voice in a bathroom stall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think his weakest performance in a video game that I have personally played is in Baldur's Gate 3, and it's still a good performance, but he plays Ketherick, who is kind of somber and withdrawn in his vocal tones. And he does a really good job, but it's not kind of the punch I was expecting from the character when I found out it was J.K. Simmons.
Right. Just for clarification, Whiplash had a budget of $3.3 million and made over $50 million in the box office. Out of 114 nominations of all different kinds of awards, it has won 49, including 3 Academy Awards, and it was nominated for Best Picture.
So Whiplash is, and this is going to sound stupid, but hear me out. Whiplash sounds like the movie equivalent to what Baldur's Gate 3 did last year.
Yeah.
Because it officially released
Birdman.
Do what?
Birdman is what won that Best Picture that year. It went up against American Sniper, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. But the fact that Whiplash, as an independent film coming in and being on that list, is fucking crazy.
Me over here looking up. That's what. Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck is Birdman? And then I had to look it up and be like, oh, the Michael Keaton movie.
I was to say, it was a good movie. Yeah. Do we want to talk about the one thing that I think Dave's ready to get fired up on? Because he got a little spicy when we talked about it before show. James Gunn has announced a new Green Lantern.
Well, he's not a new Green Lantern. It's the casting for the Green Lantern.
Yes. Well,
no, but this is also the first time that Green Lantern will appear on theater screens.
I thought he meant that he's announcing a new Green Lantern character, and I was like, no. John Stewart has existed for a while.
No, new to the screen, because previously it was Hal Jordan. And now it's going to be John Stewart, who, no, bring back Hal. Hal is fun, Hal is funny. We do not need another Boy Scout Rent-A-Cop wannabe motherfucker. I'm sorry, Jon Stewart is the worst of the lanterns. I'd prefer the alien lanterns to Jon Stewart, and some of them eat their own shit. I wish I was kidding.
DC's a weird fucking company.
And it said, I believe, DC series. So I don't know if it's going to be a Green Lantern series or if he's going to be included in a different one. It just said, and I meant to look up the actor to see if I recognized him in anything. Aaron
Pierre. He has been in. He was in Old.
Was he in? I hated that movie. He was in The Little Mermaid. Wait a minute.
He's voicing Mufasa in the Mufasa movie. It's coming up. Yeah.
So there's 2 terrible projects he's in. 3 terrible projects he's in because he was in Old. No. Mufasa's gonna be fucking trash garbage. It already is. It already is. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. Disney, kill the fucking movie. Just do it. You're fucking up. You fucked up Star Wars. You're fucking up people's childhoods with Mufasa, making Mufasa the villain and trying to redeem Scar, who is a fucking dickhead. Fuck you.
Well, they're changing the lore in itself,
and they're
like
it's
so established that Scar is the adopted one.
So fucking stop, and also, and more importantly, fucking leave Star Wars alone. I know you bought it. Stop playing with it. You broke the toy. Let it die.
At least the music for Mufasa will be good, because I don't know why Lin agreed to do that, but at least Lin-Manuel Miranda will be a part of it.
I'd also like to announce that I disagree with everything Dave said about Star Wars. Keep making Star Wars stuff, because I like it.
Before we go on,
you liked The Acolyte?
On the list?
I did. What I saw of it, I saw like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
So you didn't like it because you didn't watch the whole thing. People who like things watch the whole thing.
Dave, I didn't watch the end because life fucking happened.
Oh, well, it's starting at about episode 4 or 5 that people got mad at it. Just so you know.
Well, from what I heard is after the first couple episodes. The first couple episodes is when it took a fume.
I don't know, man. Keep doing you, but like, I don't understand the whole Mufasa movie. But that is besides the point. Why
Jon Stewart? That's the question I really want to know. Because if you want kind of that stoic straight man character, give us Martian Manhunter, because at least he's fucking interesting. And
well, we got
you can cast the same guy.
When do we get Martian Manhunter?
At the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, 4-hour snooze fest.
He's not in the theatrical release, so it's not canon.
I know, but it was just, God, why'd it have to be 4 hours?
And even if it was canon, he's a shape changer. You can recast him easily and cast the same guy and make a Martian Manhunter movie, because he is infinitely more interesting than fucking Jon Stewart. Jon Jones is Martian Manhunter. It's even the same first name. Look, give me your script. I can change a few things. He can still be a space cop, but he'll be the Martian Manhunter space cop.
Right.
What's up, Bree?
That wasn't me raising my hand. That was me just because, yeah.
You know who Jon Jones is? Or not Jon Jones. You know Jon Stewart, Green Lantern?
Of course I know Jon Stewart.
He's boring as shit, isn't he?
My father loved him, so that was my not acknowledgement. That was my knowledge of Jon Stewart. It was just that my father loved him, and it mainly just because he was.
Yeah,
so is Jon Jones in his human form, at least.
That is absolutely where I assumed you were going with that, Bree. So, which again, fair, but
listen, I don't know enough about Jon Stewart other than that. I just know he's a Green Lantern.
So imagine
he's the black one.
Imagine Captain America, but with a significantly less interesting backstory, where he was a modern soldier, and I think the most recent tellings have him be a veteran of the most recent conflict in Iraq. And then he gets his lantern ring, and he continues to be like, he doesn't tell jokes, he doesn't joke around with people, he doesn't get to know people, he doesn't like interacting with people. When he does interact with people, it's usually to tell them why they're a bad person or that they're doing something wrong.
So it's the John Walker of the Green
I was
Lantern.
just gonna fucking say he is
of the
John
Captain Americas,
Walker.
he is the John Walker version of the Green Lantern,
That's
as opposed to
brutal.
Hal Jordan's Captain America version of the Green Man. Hal Jordan's more like Bucky as Cap, to be fair.
Which Bucky as Cap was fun.
But he was silly. He made jokes all the time. Yada, yada, yada. That's Hal Jordan. And then there's another Green Lantern who is more like Cap.
What'd you say, Brad?
I pledge allegiance to the lantern that I got from a dying purple alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
Okay, so people shit on that movie. I don't know. I think it's fun.
It's so good. The worst, okay, it's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie.
It's not, but it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
And I feel the same about the Bat Nipple movies. The Bat Nipple movies aren't good, but they're fun.
They're fun. Shout out Tim Burton.
Nope. The Bat Nipple movies was Joel Schumacher.
That wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't Tim Burton, but I also like the Tim Burton Batman movies.
Tim Burton. Can we have Tim Burton come back and direct a Batman movie? Maybe I'd watch it.
They don't. That's okay. So the problem with having Tim Burton direct Batman is Tim Burton will Tim Burton Batman again.
And it's my favorite.
No. But here is the problem. Here's the problem. The first two Batman movies, directed by Tim Burton, did super well. They had a lot of Tim Burton's iconic style. And moving from the first movie into the second movie, they were big, they were flashy, they had these crazy visuals, right?
Yeah.
And they asked Joel Schumacher to kind of lean into that with Batman Forever. And he did, and it was really well received. So for Batman and Robin, they told him, go fucking nuts. And he went a little too far.
They also told him that they wanted to make toys. That one of the main selling points of that movie was to make toys.
Right.
Not to make a good movie, just to make toys.
No. They told him to go nuts, and they wanted as many different things shoved in that movie as possible so they can make toys for everything. That's why every imaginable Bat vehicle is in that movie. That's why, yeah.
It was like 18 fucking villains.
Uma Thurman
There's
as Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I was saying it's three.
Is the best Poison Ivy. Yeah.
And to be fair, they have Bane as a henchman, not a villain.
And he also just goes the entire movie.
Bomb!
They just turned him into a Mexican wrestler.
He is just a giant luchador.
In that movie, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite version of Bane will always be the one from the Harley Quinn show, because it's the best one.
No one
it's the best
who
one.
I was before I put on the mask.
Oh, god damn it, who put that there? Trips over shit. It's so good. I don't know why. I love that
Why
show.
are my feet so small?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know enough about DC to have an opinion on Jon Stewart as Green Lantern.
But look. I don't know why I want to know why they picked. I feel like Jon Stewart is a bad choice. But it's James Gunn. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. But I think Gunn would have had an easier time making an entertaining movie with any of the other Lanterns.
Because Marvel took a risk with doing Guardians when they did it, and because nobody knew those characters except for real comic book nerds.
Well,
And
the
James
fucked up
Gunn
thing
made them
is the
iconic.
cast of the Guardians aren't even they're the modern Guardians, but they're not even the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's not even the original from the 80s.
Yeah.
It's the retelling from the story from like 2004.
The only OG Guardian I know is Yondu. I think was one of the OG Guardians. I don't know any other OG Guardian.
I actually have. Hang on.
But yeah, they took a risk with doing that, and especially not doing the original run of the Guardians. And James Gunn,
Because-
worked it out and made them iconic.
I mean, as cool as the original, as cool as the
Ultimate
original Guardians of
Spider-Man
the
issue
Galaxy.
1. Nerd.
The original Guardians of the Galaxy was cool, but like the new version was so much fucking better.
Those movies made me cry over a talking tree and a talking CGI raccoon.
What about Cosmo the space dog? She's such a good girl.
But she didn't make me cry.
I know.
Also made me cry over a man painted blue going on Mary Poppins, y'all.
This is
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Issue 1 of the 50th anniversary of Captain America, when they kind of relaunched a whole bunch of their series.
Yeah.
Of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, and I don't know who none of them people are.
You know who one of them is?
Other than
Yondu's
Yondu.
in there.
Yeah.
Was it other than Yondu?
He's down here. Oh, down here.
Because none of them, I don't know. Like, again, the stories were cool, but it wasn't as good as the re-release in 2008. When they redid the team with obviously everyone that we saw, and there were some characters that weren't even included, that we never saw in the movies. But I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I just, because what have we had put out from the DC universe so far?
Nothing. Well, I'm confused on Blue Beetle because some people say it's part of it's DCEU, but others are like, no, it's the first movie in the DCU. So I don't know.
Because the first DCU movie looks like is going to be Superman.
Okay, so Blue Beetle was DCEU, and it was so good. That's such a disappointment because it was so
But they may carry it over into the other continuity as well.
Hopefully.
So your timeline for Chapter 1: Superman, Supergirl, The Authority, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, and then 2 other films is an untitled Teen Titans film and an untitled Bane and Deathstroke film.
There's also talk. I'll say they're also in talks of doing a Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, or maybe it's Jason Todd and Tim Drake. It's 2 of the Robins. They're in talks of doing a series on them, but I don't know if it's gotten past the idea board.
Apparently, Peacemaker is part of the DCU now.
Yeah, basically all of the characters that were in James Gunn's property for the DCEU, he's carrying over. So we get to keep Margot Robbie, please.
So
please.
your chapter 1, which is labeled Gods and Monsters, by the way. The shows will be Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, Lanterns, which I imagine is going to include a ton of them.
Is the show that's going to... Okay, hang on. That gives me hope that they haven't cast Hal Jordan yet. Because Jon Stewart is great when he's also with Hal. Because they are opposite of each other.
It looks
and Hal
like
is always intentionally pissing
Hal looks
John
like
off.
he's going to be involved. So it looks like both.
And possibly
Waller,
the third one whose name I can never remember.
Paradise Lost, Booster Gold, and Untitled Blue Beetle series. So that's your DCU.
Time out. Did you say Booster Gold?
Yeah.
Oh, it's real
He's-
early to introduce Booster. I love Booster Gold. Money is his superpower, but a long time in the future. So he time travels back in time with really advanced technology and kind of makes himself rich.
I hope they
seen
don't
a
use a
lot of
shitty version of the Teen
people-
Titans though for the movie.
Okay, so here's my casting that I want for Teen Titans. And I want to do an adult Teen Titans team. Right?
Before you do that, before you get into that, Booster Gold apparently has been teased, or it's been no, there's no actual confirmation, but apparently at a convention, the actor whose name I cannot pronounce, and I am sorry, for Blue Beetle, apparently made a statement that Kamal Nanjiani will be Booster Gold. But my running
Oh
was
my
on Glenn
God.
Powell. My money would have been Glenn Powell.
No. Because Booster. Okay, so whoever plays Booster Gold, they need to be tall. They need to have a square jaw. So Kumail would work actually really well.
Kumail fits
Right.
that.
Yeah, no, so what I'm saying is both of
almost
those
perfectly.
are believable. Yeah, both of those are believable castings.
I love Kumail.
But you know
So
who
great.
I think might, because he's kind of cocky and arrogant. You know who my pick for Booster Gold would be?
Who?
Adrian Brody. I'm kidding.
Like Adrian
Actually, that
Brody.
might work, but no. No. What's his? The fuck is his name?
What did he play in?
I can't. All I can see is his face. I'm looking at a man's face in my head.
What does he look like? I don't know. He's a man with a face. Yeah, I got an uncle that looks just like that.
Square jaw. Not dark eyes. Like, I don't think his eyes are brown, but I don't know what color they are. Light brown or dark blonde hair. I'm describing half of the dudes in Hollywood.
I was gonna say you just described him as fucking Tom Hardy.
Yes!
I don't know if Tom Hardy wants to go back to the fucking DC universe.
To play a hero, he'd probably be happy to do it.
Maybe. Again, I don't know who the fuck Booster Gold is, so I'm just gonna
Get
smile and
Jensen
nod.
Ackles to do it. He's already been in the DC. Just get Jensen Ackles back.
Oh,
DC,
actually,
DC.
He was Red Hood in what is it, Rise of the Red Hood, and then he's also Batman in the Long Halloween cartoon movie that they did.
Ah, okay.
actually, no. So the biggest problem with having Jensen Ackles do it is he's short.
No, he's 6'1" or
Yeah,
6'2".
He's like
He just
6
looks
foot.
short standing next to Jared. Jared's 6'4".
Okay.
Jared's like almost
That's
yeah.
fair. That's fair. I forgot how freakishly huge Jared Padalecki was.
I am not freakishly huge because I'm the same size as him.
No. But like, okay, look.
Yeah, I was saying he's
Listen
6'1".
Listen here. My
Listen,
bad.
Linda.
Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. No, it's
Yeah, Jared Padalecki is 6'4".
everyone on that show was fairly
No,
tall,
Dave.
though.
I'm small. Those are big people.
Yeah, because I think even Misha was like 5'10". He just looks short standing next to them.
Right, yeah.
Misha Collins is 5'11".
5'11". I was close.
Okay. I can't remember his name, the guy who plays Crowley.
Mark Shepard.
Oh, Mark Shepard.
He looks
5'9".
tiny, so he's probably, I was going to say 5'8" or 5'9".
He's a normal height.
He looks so short on that show next to everyone else, though. And he is 5'9". Chris, can you imagine if you had been on an episode? They would have cast you as an actual leprechaun. And you would have played tricks on the boys.
And they wouldn't have had to adjust the camera and any CGI. They would have just been like, yep, they're freakishly huge.
See, the funny part is, I could see them starting that. Jensen Ackles just stopping, and be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Hi,
What are we
I'm
doing?
Chris.
That is a tiny redhead. What the fuck? How?
Oh, I would like to see either of those gentlemen do stand up. Because when they just bullshit and tell stories on stage at like cons and stuff,
I
they're
was gonna
fucking
say,
hilarious.
that they have that. It's just Comic-Con. Also, their bloopers are fucking hilarious. My favorite is, what about and the magical Leo Pleurodons? They're gonna show us the way.
Okay, so my favorite blooper actually made it into the show. It was a improv bit by Jensen, where he dropped his pants, lifted his shirt, jiggled, and said "pudding." Pudding.
What a wild show,
And
Supernatural.
that was an ad lib, apparently.
I have a love-hate relationship with that show because I love so much of it, and then there's so much of it that I'm just like, why?
Well,
Yeah.
Do we want to move on to some more DC stuff where we talk about the Penguin?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember episode 2 because episode 3 had me stressed the fuck out. I'm trying to remember episode 2.
Wild.
Episode 3 was.
I
It
remember episode
disappointed
2.
me.
They went to the party. Somebody got stabbed. Somebody else got shot. Victor had one job and he failed.
Yeah, no, you basically remembered episode 2.
I can't remember anything else. Those are the only 3 points I remember.
That's realistically the whole fucking episode.
Okay, so what happens in episode 2? Would you like a synopsis with a little more of the crunchy bits?
Yes.
So what happens in episode 2, Oz is still trying to kind of skew things his direction. Druggy ex-detective kidnaps guy from the Maroney gang named Avad, who is in the hospital, and brings him to Sophia Maroney. And she shoves him she has her henchman, Castillo, I think his name is, shove him in the basement and tell her when he wakes up. He doesn't wake up. Oz finds out that there's somebody in the basement, puts 2 and 2 together, gets a call from the Maronis, says I'll sort it out, goes down to the other guy, hey, you gotta say it's Vidi, and he was gonna plant the evidence of Vidi fucking Luca's wife on Vidi, but didn't get the chance. And then they find out this guy in the basement who they were going to interrogate got fucking stabbed by Oz because some shit hit the fan. He had to kill the guy because Vic couldn't put the jewels in the car, which was the other solid thing they needed to frame Vidi. So instead, he frames Castillo by getting in a fight with Vidi and dropping the knife he used to stab Avad in Castillo's pocket.
Yes.
And then they tell him to clean up the bodies because Luca killed Castillo and Sophia's mad about it because it was her kill. And Luca's like, it's my decision because he's got to prove he's so big and fucking bad. I hate Luca.
I don't know who I hate more, Luca or Johnny.
No. I respect the hustle Johnny's on.
See, if I were Oz, I don't know. Part of me would have planted the fucking knife on Johnny.
Couldn't. There wasn't anything else to go with it to back it up.
Because I thought when the scuffle happened that he was going to plant the knife on him, but
that's what I thought as well.
No. Oz played it Oz played it smart because he got in a fight with a guy he wasn't framing, so nobody would expect that that was a cover.
True.
And then Castillo like, that isn't mine, and then he fucking gets blasted in the head, whatever. And then, and my favorite part of the episode, they make Oz clean up the bodies. So what does Oz do? He makes Vic clean up the bodies by digging the hole. And the bodies are in the hole. And then he makes Vic get in the hole and lie down with the bodies. Not because he's threatening to kill him or anything like that, but he wants to drill into him the importance of not choking, because he is now in a business where if you choke, you fucking die. You just die. And you wind up in an unmarked grave with a couple other random fucking dudes who also happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong fucking time.
Yup.
And he wanted to kind of get that into his head because it's important. And a lot of things that happen in episode 2 and through episode 3 kind of do a lot to try to humanize Oz as a person. But should I just continue into what happens in episode 3 and then we can talk about all of it?
I mean, you might as well.
Okay. So, episode 3, big earmarks. Sophia's bringing Oz in on this new drug. They're calling it Bliss. I'm saying a lot of this out of order for the sake of summary. Oz actually seemingly picks the name out of the air because Sophia looks at him like, oh, when did we decide that? When he tells the head of the triad, we'll get there, that the drug is called Bliss. But a lot of this episode is, again, spent kind of humanizing Oz. At one point, he has a conversation with Sophia. Yeah, I fucked you over. I didn't think that was going to happen to you, but I don't regret it because I don't regret what I have now. Sort of thing. Kind of showing how he's selfish, but he still gives a shit. What?
It's real shit, because it's better to just say it like that than to try to sugarcoat it and be like, yeah, I'm so sorry for what happened.
Well,
I
and
wish
Sophia,
I could take it back. He's like, no, I don't.
Sophia isn't dumb. Sophia is paying very close attention, and Sophia, I have a feeling, is like a walking lie detector, because whenever anybody is lying to her and we know that they're lying, she always looks suspicious. Like, sure, that's what happened. Sort of look on her face.
I think her eyes get bigger every time somebody lies to her, because her eyes look like they're about to pop out of their skull every time.
Fair. Yeah. But no, they fucking... Casting for this show is incredible, by the way. Episode 3 opens with a flashback to the explosion of the seawall, where we, in a very fucked up way, get to watch Vic's family die.
Yeah, well, that's how they start the episode. Is they start the episode with the events of the Batman, when the Riddler blows up. What was it? The dam,
the seawall.
The seawall. And we actually see Victor's family die from the water.
And I knew it was coming, and it still was like, oh my God.
See, I felt nothing, but that's usual for me.
Because we get a scene of them like as a family before it happens. So it's not making you try to mourn people you never met. And what makes it suck even more is that the last conversation he kind of has with his dad doesn't really leave off on a good note. And those are always the ones that suck the most. And that's why a lot of people are like, never leave a conversation angry, never say anything that you might regret, because that might be the last conversation you have. And that was a perfect example of why.
Yeah.
And that's what really hit me, was just the fact that even though it wasn't like anger and like, it was frustration, but it wasn't like, I hate you kind of, it still was like, he probably regrets that that's how he left the apartment.
The drug is being made from mushrooms It's a thing that they gave to patients at Arkham, apparently. The mushrooms themselves are a variant of the bleeding cap or bleeding tooth mushroom. They're mushrooms that make a resin or a sap that makes them look like they're bleeding. It's bright red. They're actually really pretty, but also kind of gruesome looking in real life.
Yeah.
And in the show, to be fair, because they just look like the same mushrooms. Like in the show, they didn't that's just what they look like in real life. They're fucking crazy. Oz makes Bliss the bag man because they walk in on VD, fucking Luca's wife, and tell him, hey, we got this evidence of you doing this. We know you're doing this. You're going to side with us because Mr. Triad Man wants a phone call from you before he'll talk to us. And it's a whole thing. VD says something dumb. Oz shoves his own cell phone in, either his cell phone or Oz. He shoves somebody's cell phone in the man's mouth. And you can hear the glass of the screen cracking. But the whole time it makes you think of like teeth cracking, and it's visceral in like the best kind of way. You remember that, Bree? Based on the face you're making?
Don't remind me. I was sitting here like, no.
And so you were making the same sounds as VD. But yeah, so VD's like, okay, fine, I'll do it, whatever. Because you know, if the big boss finds out the underboss is fucking Big Boss's wife, the big boss is gonna fuck the underboss with a shotgun and then pull the trigger.
Yes.
That's how you handle problems like that.
Can we talk about the cold-blooded line that Johnny says to Sophia? He goes when he says, when the boss tells you to go to Italy, you fucking go to Italy. Hands her the paper, the ticket, and goes 3 days to go to Italy before I tell people that's where you went.
Yeah,
it's like,
which is such a good line.
God damn,
either
that's
you go to Italy
cold.
or I tell people you went to Italy. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, no. That's some literal gangster shit.
Well, what I'm really
like
loving is I'm loving the relationship growth between Oz and Victor, because like it feels like Victor's kind of becoming the son that Oz never had.
Well, so Oz sees a lot in Victor that he sees in himself. One of my favorite points is what's up, gamer? They're ordering at a nice restaurant and they get to talking about his dad and they cheers his dad and the waiter comes over and Oz places his order. And Victor has a speech impediment. He stutters from time to time. And he's trying to say steak frites. And he keeps getting stuck on frites.
Mm-hmm.
Your own resident guy who occasionally stutters. Though differently and for different reasons. Well, maybe not different reasons. Who knows? But and the waiter says steak frites. And Oz just looks at him. The man was talking. You interrupt him like that.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Penguin gamer.
And Victor gets it out. And Victor looks at Oz and says, you don't have to do that for me. And Oz says, I know, you should do it for yourself. Take up room. So you stutter a little bit.
Yeah.
Make him wait for you. You got it. But thinking about it, anytime anybody walks faster than Oz is comfortable with, he always comments on why are they walking so fast, and then he refuses to change his pace.
Right.
He takes up space with his limp the same way he feels Victor should take up space with his stutter.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get noticed. You take up space.
Right.
And all of this character building just for Oz to have one of the most cold-blooded lines towards the end of the episode that I'm like, Oz, when they're in the bathroom and he's like, they don't give out awards for dying in the projects, and I was like, Oz.
That's a heavy line. That's a heavy line.
Cause like, yeah, but damn.
Well, that's always been Oswald Cobblepot's thing, right? Is he doesn't give a fuck.
No, that's true. The people he cares about fiercely.
Yeah.
Which is why he was in that same bathroom scene. That's why he was so upset to say that. Because he saw his relationship with Victor as he was taking Vic under his wing. And he's, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to help this young man. And he saw it as very, like, it was his way of reaching out and trying to be better in the only way he knew how.
Right.
And Victor made him feel like Victor thought he was a captive. Right.
And I paused us to skip over a few things, but like in the flashback, we get to meet Victor's girlfriend, who honestly I thought she was dead, but then she shows up later and I was like, okay, yay. And basically she shows up, is telling Vic that she's leaving, that she is leaving Gotham. She's going to like California, and that the bus leaves at this time.
Because, and I quote, our school is underwater and I don't like living in a FEMA tent.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking...
And I'm like, I respect it. That makes a lot of sense to me.
And Vic is like, yeah, I want to leave with you, but like my boss, and like he kind of explains, he doesn't really say who he's working for, but he's like, it's like a big deal mafia kind of situation. I can't just leave. And he'll kill me, yada yada yada. Eventually they get to a point where he's like, I'll talk to him. So then he goes to the bathroom because he's the bag boy at this party where they're supposed to be selling the drugs to like test them out. So he's the bag boy, and I guess at some point, I missed this. He takes the money into the bathroom. Bag man.
Super important distinction. Don't disrespect my boy like that. He was the bag man.
It's super important.
Yes. He's the bag man. And I guess he took the money into the bathroom with him. Oz walks in, sees him with the money. He's like, oh, so you're just going to take my money? I bring you under my wing. And you're just going to take my money and run?
Because, and to be fair, from Oz's perspective, he walks in, homie's got his cash, which he was just handed and hadn't put in the bag yet. And he's looking at his phone with messages on the screen talking about how he's leaving tonight with this girl. So that looks sus. But yeah, that's why they're having this big blowout in the bathroom. And then he puts a gun to Vic's head, literally, and he's yelling at him, is this what this feels like to you? Is this what me and you feels like to you? Fucking go. Go. You think you're a hostage? You could have left any time.
Which is not how I expected him to react. You know?
That's what was stressing me out.
I knew he wasn't going to kill Victor.
Because Oz... I knew, but at the same time, Oz killed Al, I think was the brother's name in the first episode, for just insulting him.
He just fucking gunned that man down.
No. I'm actually disappointed that Oz didn't shoot Vic. Right there.
Wow.
I'm happy he didn't, because it was stressing me out. I was like, Oz, please don't kill him, because I'm growing attached to Victor.
Oh yeah. There is one person who is off limits to Oz, and that is his mother. Outside of that, if he trusts you and he cares about you, and then you break that, he usually kills you.
Yeah.
Period.
And from that point on, I was stressed out for Victor for the rest of the episode, because he walks out and I'm like, oh, Lord, Oz is going to shoot him in the back, something. He's going to send somebody after him, something. But no, he gets in, he steals Oz's, the plum. He steals the plum car. He drives to the bus station. He sees
Graciela.
what was her name? Yeah, he sees Graciela get on the bus, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, Victor, just get on the bus. Just get on the bus. I love you. Please just get on the bus. And he doesn't get on the bus. He starts to drive, and next thing we know, we cut back to the party, and I can't remember the exact details of how it happens, but I know that what the Maronis
You want me to take over?
And yes,
Nadia Maroney.
Okay. So, about this time, Oz and Sophia are walking out. They close the deal with the triads. Everything's good. Bliss is not only selling well, but they raised the price multiple times and it didn't slow down sales. And they're walking out, and then Nadia Maroney pulls up, gets out of the car, and says, "We need to talk. You think you can double cross us?" Right in front of fucking Sophia. And then a bunch of crazy shit happens. Everyone's yelling at each other. And that's when Vic's pulling up. And he's just like, "Today's a good day to die." Slams on the accelerator. Nails the guy with the fucking gun. Oz hops in the car. "Let's go, let's go, let's go." Vic says, "What about Sophia?" Oz looks at him and says, "Fuck her, let's go."
No, literally. And then that's till the end of the episode. So it's like,
I will say, my favorite line from that whole episode is when Vic is asking Oz about, like, well, won't they be upset that this or that or whatever because they're family?
yeah.
And Oz goes, "Nah, 60 years ago, two brothers jizzed all over the toe of that boot. I got 3 dozen Falcones I got to keep track of."
I know.
Oh.
Don't mind me just eating cookies over here. They're really good.
See, now I want cookies.
Fucking dollar store cookies, fam.
I have
Dude,
gummies.
the dollar store ginger snaps are the best.
These are the little Dutch made brand. They're real good.
Oh, are those the butter cookies they make?
The vanilla cream.
Okay. I was going to say, because they make like butter cookies too, like the ones that come in the tins for Christmas that are real good.
I wanted the lemon cream, but I grabbed the wrong one. But I was like, these are good.
Fair.
But yeah, so if y'all couldn't tell by the recap, for the Penguin, all of the character moments and stuff like that are the things that I'm grasping onto. All of the mafia drug stuff is the stuff that I don't zone out, and I do care about it, but it's all the character moments. And that's why when Dave was like, they casted this show very well, I'm like, yes, because all of those character moments, even though they're not the bigger issue or the bigger picture, those are some of the most important things, because it's like, how do you care about the show if you don't care about the characters?
Right.
For sure.
I'm sorry, Chris doesn't care about
I do want to say the cinematography, because they show us some unique perspective shots in episode 3, where like he both looks like he's on the rooftop and at the club at the same time in a couple of different ways. And the way they shot the car crash and everything, like the cinematography is really, really good.
Bree, what did you say I don't care about?
And not
characters.
Why do I not care about characters?
We had a whole conversation about how you can't get into TV shows because you don't care about, you care about the story more, and that you can't get into TV shows because you don't care about watching the same characters for that long.
That's not at all what I said.
That sounded like what you said to me.
It's not at all what I said. So you were paraphrasing totally wrong. But yeah, no, I agree, Dave. It's well done so far. The story in itself is great. And I think the only way you can do a Penguin show is this way.
Oh, 100%. And I love the Marvel shows.
Side.
The cinematography in the HBO Penguin show is better than anything we've seen out of a Marvel TV show yet.
Right.
Cinematography wise, Yes, there are, when we get into Agatha, there are a couple visuals that are in the
Oh,
episode,
yeah,
episode
yeah.
4 of
Yeah.
Agatha, that I'm like, oh yeah, top notch, best visuals from a TV
But
show this year.
there are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
For the audience and the uninitiated. Cinematography is angles and overall scene composition. Visuals
Camera work.
is
It's all camera work.
and visuals is how things look, which is different. We're talking everything from
Coloring.
color palettes to special effects and lighting to and there are some crazy things in Agatha. And when we get there, I want to start that segment because I'm proud of myself. Ow, I just bruised my chest because I'm
We
proud
will
of
not
myself.
be talking about the pop figure debacle that is currently happening. I have been avoiding that spoiler for weeks.
No. That's
No.
fine.
If anybody doesn't
I
want
am
to
going
get spoiled, do not look at the Funko Pops for Agatha. If you do not want to get spoiled, do not look at them.
Anyway.
Yeah, worth it to watch both, Gamer, for sure.
I do have some, based on notes I took while watching the show and conclusions I drew before I looked into anything else. I do have some stuff I want to talk about with Teen and
Rio.
Yeah.
do
Because
we wanna
there are a lot of
switch-
visual things specifically in this episode where I'm like, I wonder if Rio is this person, but we'll get there.
Well, do we want to switch to Agatha?
We can if we're ready for it.
I was
So
going to say, I think
first
we've
off-
touched on everything for the Penguin that I think we need to for this round.
The thing I wanted to open with Agatha is I was right in my guess last week based on the title of the episode that it would feature a very prominent liminal space, and which it does in the very opening of the fucking episode where they turn around, walk the other way, and end up exactly where they were.
Right.
Because they're like, we're not going in that. I guess we are.
I guess we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it would be self-referential.
Right.
And it was very self-referential because of the content of the episode.
Right. I loved the musical number.
Mm-hmm. That's the self-referential part.
Yeah, I loved the musical number.
We will elaborate further later, but I love that one of my notes just says lesbians in all caps with 3 exclamation points.
Which I called from a fucking mile away.
And if my theory is correct, and like I said, I did a little bit of in-depth analysis of one of the images. And Chris, I sent you the zoom in bits, right?
No. Well,
okay.
You were talking to me about stuff and I hadn't seen the episode, and then that was the last we had spoke about it.
Gotcha.
So I was like,
well, so basically, I did
oh.
some forensic analysis of one of the photos, and it's doctored as shit.
Yeah.
So, like to the point where pixel density changes around the alleged spoiler stuff. And that doesn't happen in images. They should have the same pixel density throughout.
Yeah.
So.
When did I watch the episode? Thursday. So yeah, so I'm trying to fully process the. There's been a lot that has happened in the last week. So.
So I
couple big.
I took notes.
So couple big takeaways. And please, while I'm going, interrupt me because I'm going to try to do the show kind of in order. So they start on the road. It was this episode that they met Rio.
Well, it was this episode that she joined the group.
That she joined the group on the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And that was one of the visuals I was talking about. I love the way that she enters and all just it reminded me a lot of when Wanda showed up and out of the reflection of the gong in Multiverse of Madness. And I love
Yes.
But like, can we all just agree that Aubrey Plaza probably shows up to places like that? Just out of the ground, what's up? Like,
so Rio,
she plays herself. That Aubrey Plaza plays herself in every fucking
titties. So Rio comes out of the ground. They're talking. She's unexpected, except it kind of looks like Agatha almost expected it. Rio says something interesting. She says, magic takes the path of least resistance.
role.
Whether that be dragging down or pulling up. And she implies that she was pulled up from somewhere else, not drugged down from the surface.
Yeah.
Very heavily. So I'm like, okay, was she in hell? Is that where was she hanging with Mephisto? What's going on? And that's kind of where I was in my head with that. And she's wandering around and looking. And at one point, Agatha talks about, so Coven True, Coven 2, there's an argument of what the lyric is there at one point, right? And Agatha left the road with only one other person the last time she was on the road. But based on Rio Vidal kind of prancing around and looking at everything, I don't think she's ever been on the road before.
That's a fair thought. Because either she hasn't, or she's pretending she hasn't been down this, not just the road,
it's
but
one
like
of the two
this scenario with.
I would also
Agatha.
like to point out that on the road is the only time you see her in green. Every other time we have seen her, she is in black and wearing a hood.
Except for the beginning. When
she was in the detective uniform, but that was a fantasy manifestation.
Correct.
Oh, it was a fantasy, all right.
You are so horny all the time.
All the goddamn time.
She's so hot.
You are hornier than Zach.
You're not wrong.
You are not wrong in any way.
So then one of the other witches, I can't remember which one, says, so you're a green witch? And she says, I'm more like the green witch. In this really deep demonic voice. And I'm like, for someone to reference themselves to as the green witch, they have like a red witch versus the scarlet witch, right?
Right.
The green witch. And I'm like, who the fuck would the green witch be? Because it has to be something tied to like the circle of life, nature, the like natural order and pecking order of things, something, right?
Yeah, you're at the same place I am.
What the fuck is the green witch?
So what are you saying, Toolsy?
I will get there. She'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Depression. I need you.
So we're moving on. We're moving on. They see the house. They have to go in the house. All of a sudden, they're in the 70s, and everyone is wearing kind of their colors again.
Mm-hmm.
Except our friend Rio Vidal, who is in all black, wearing a hood, and have her titties out.
This is true.
To be fair, they all have their titties out. And Teen kind of looks like Jim Morrison.
His costumes, whenever they go into a trial, get worse and worse every episode. Because
I think that's on purpose.
I get it. I get it. It's the preppy, but it was awful.
No.
This one,
It is on purpose.
that it gets
It has
worse
to be
and
on
worse.
purpose.
Yes. It'll be even worse tonight in the next episode. Do you want to know why? Because they are emphasizing more and more how out of place he is there. Why is he there? Why? He's not in the coven.
I thought it was just that was the style of the time, and I'm not from that time, and he's a boy, and it looked awful.
No, he looks
I
like
mean-
a rocker from the 70s. I mentioned
Yeah.
Jim Morrison
like-
from The Doors.
Yeah, I was like, it's the style of the time, but ew.
Yeah, it's a little brutal.
But they could have done Neil Diamond and had him more in fitting with how everyone else was dressed.
Right.
And instead they chose a more, again, Jim, it feels Jim Moore. I saw him and I went, is he supposed to be Jim Morrison?
It does feel very Jim Morrison.
Who is the lead singer of The Doors, for those of you who don't know?
Correct.
And lead guitar player, I think?
No.
Rhythm guitar. He plays guitar. I just don't remember which one. Anyway. This is tattoo punk rocker ladies trial, whose name I can't remember.
Alice.
Alice, thank you. Alice Wu. Because she's the fire witch
Jim
and the
Jim Morrison never
protection. She's the
played guitar, but continue.
Jim Morrison. What?
Never played guitar in the band.
So he just has pictures of him holding a guitar.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
the lead singer. He did harmonica and some percussion stuff. Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say, because I know I've seen pictures of Jim Morrison holding a fucking guitar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have. They exist.
Anyway. What's up, Nugs? So they're trying to figure out what this trial is, and they're just kind of wandering around. They each have their own little mental fucking breakdown because of some art object in the house. Kind of like in the previous trial where they each had a mental fucking breakdown because of a Fantasyland trip they went on.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a theme in this show where people just continuously have mental breakdowns. And I think it's saying something about mental health in that this breakdown that they all have is significantly less severe than the last one, but they've kind of progressed down the road toward their goal. So I'm curious to see if there is even less of a kind of overall mental breakdown for the group in the next episode. Because I'm curious if there is.
It's Alice's trial, but the whole group starts to feel like the burning sensation in their shoulder from the.
The
Can't remember if it's a
had.
curse or a protection.
It's curse.
It's a curse.
It's the curse. The song is the protection.
It's her family
Yes,
curse.
That's what it was.
And Lorna Wu's song is a protection spell for her daughter. And she needed it to get popular enough that somebody would always be playing it somewhere.
Right.
If I can't something you, let my ballad reach you, was a line she included in the song.
Yeah, if I can't get to you or something like that. Also, shout out to all of them who looked like either they knew how to fucking play those instruments or
I was gonna
they
say
were
Knew
just
how to fake it.
I
knew
a
how
couple
to
of
fake
things
it
I
real
wanna-
fucking well.
we're gonna back up real quick. Agatha manages to hot mic Rio and make her sound like a bitch.
Yes.
Which is important. When they all start playing the song and the entity appears and everyone looks freaked the fuck out and stops playing, they don't. Everyone doesn't freak the fuck out and stop playing. Rio Vidal notice it and then just keeps playing like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it is unimportant to her.
That's another one of my notes is that I love the creature design, monster design. I love the
It looks
design of
great.
it. I
And
love
it is
how
a
looks
very
good it
traditional, like, demon design.
Yeah.
In the best way. But yeah, Rio just always seems unfucking concerned, and that's terrifying. This is all a game to her, which means her power level is enough that nothing here can actually hurt her, or she would be freaking the fuck out with everyone else.
Right.
Because I put a note, I don't remember exactly when the line is said, but somebody is like, she's a psycho, and Rio's just like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. We also, in that same hot mic situation, we are all but told that they used to be lovers.
Yeah.
It's not directly said. It is heavily implied into the point where it's... If it had been a sex act and you were Bill Clinton, you could say it wasn't sex, but it was still sex. Well, I guess that depends on what your definition of is.
What?
I can't.
Thing that was actually said during that whole debacle.
That is all we have time for today.
Oh, come on. It was funny and you know
we said we were doing a short show?
Yeah, I know. We have definitely found a lot to talk about today.
Well, to be fair, we did find a couple of news topics between when we decided it was going to be a short show and now.
Literally, yeah.
But no, so they play the song, they overcome the curse because the protection witch. So when it first starts happening, and this is important, she takes Rio's knife. And this is the second time we get a good look at Rio's knife. And we've seen Rio's knife elsewhere. We'll talk about that.
Beginning of the episode, or the beginning of the season series.
No. Other than just that. So when they display the tarot cards,
yes, that's right.
That knife is being held by a character in one of the tarot cards. We'll get there. But it's almost a 1-for-1 the same fucking knife.
Right.
But in doing all of this, Joe Locke's character, Keen, gets the big owies. And he gets stabbed in the gut. And the healing witch uses moonlight and water to cast a healing spell on him. But while they're getting him out and all of this is going on, the piano opens for them to escape back to the road. It's actually really cool visually. But while all that's going on, Agatha looks directly at Rio and says, "Don't." At another point, Rio has insinuated that she was going to kill Agatha, and Agatha has implied that you can't, or it's not time yet. Rio is almost always wearing black and has a hood, and the knife is featured on the death card. I think Rio Vidal is fucking Lady Death.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean...
Somebody call Deadpool. Somebody call Thanos.
Right?
We found
But to be fair, if you're going to cast somebody to be what is... Because, okay, so Death in the comics is always portrayed as a skeletal figure, but when people describe her, that's not what they see. They see whatever is appealing to them.
Right.
So, if you were going to cast Lady Death in Marvel, you would want someone with broad appeal to as many people as possible physically.
And Aubrey
Rio
Plaza
Vidal
is,
makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
Am I certain of any of this? No, but kind of makes sense that she would call herself the Green Witch, as she is an integral part of the natural cycle of things.
Correct. I mean, it does. It makes the most sense to, especially with when Agatha does have her hot mic and she explains, like, oh, so what's next then? And it's like, yeah, that's the only.
Well, and she
That's
says, you
the
get your
only-
powers and I get my bodies.
I get my bodies, yeah. And that was like immediately where I was just like, okay, I think I know what this is. It makes
Well,
that's
most
okay.
why she looks
So
at
at the I get my bodies, I was at that point still thinking maybe she is Lilith. Because Lilith would also make sense as someone who would call themselves the Green Witch, the mother of
Right.
monsters. Well, she has a million titles. I forget what all of her stuff is in Marvel, but it's pretty much universally the same.
Right.
She had scary badass from before time. Or not, you know what I mean.
Yes. I think the biggest thing that happens at the end of that episode, when they have that intimate moment, is when Rio looks at Agatha and goes, "He's not yours."
I literally
So-
wrote that down. I typed that out. I said, because she says that boy isn't yours, and I'm like, damn it! Yay! But like, can you kiss first? Let me.
You know, I looked at Jake and
Hang
I
on,
was like,
hang on,
"Now
hang on.
kiss."
Hang on. So here is the best part of that. And I want you to think about something. She gave up her son for the Darkhold, we're assuming, because that's kind of how it seems set up, right? And if that's the case, he's not yours could mean you gave him away. He's not yours anymore.
It could.
Yeah, because there's one scene where they're talking after he, wakes up after they've, after the healing witch heals him, and he's just like, "Do you know whatever happened to your son? Did you hex me?" And she's like, "No, well, I wouldn't know anyway. The hex works on both the person being hexed and the witch who cast the hex."
The sigil. But yeah.
Sigil, yes.
So she wouldn't know. And if she cast a sigil to keep herself or somebody to keep her from finding out what happened to her kid. Plus, we have a couple other things that make me think it's Nicholas Scratch. So if you look at the fucking newspapers, did I mention I go through these episodes sometimes frame by frame? So if you look at the newspaper clippings in like the credit stuff and yada, 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 right? One of them talks about a near-death experience in Eastville. It's dated 3 years prior to the show starting. At the time the hex ended, Wanda's hex, and it suggested that person is a 13-year-old boy. It's suggested that teen is 16 now. It would be 3 years later. He says in it, a lot of stuff happened to me when I was 13 too.
And he said he was from Eastview.
Or
He did say
Eastview,
he was
not
from
Easttown.
Eastview.
You know what I mean. And he said he was
Yeah.
from Eastview. Yeah. So
Before, the audio cut out.
right. So it's got me wondering. Is there something to do with Agatha being sad about her children, releasing all of that Wanda being sad about her children, releasing all of that magic? That magic had been manipulated by Agatha for a long time. Agatha also has a repressed desire for her own child.
Right.
This kid was going to die. That latent magic hits him and opens a door for an entity from another plane to keep him alive and potentially hang out and ride along with him. He gets interested in magic, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of possibility there for a Mephisto type character, a Nicholas Scratch type character, Billy possessing Billy type thing. Like, there are a lot of options there, right? And it could be, legitimately, I think it could be any of those things, because we know Mephisto is integral to the original story, that Agatha is integral to what happened with the Hex. And Wanda just wants her damn kids. So
yeah,
we still have too many options. We have too many fucking options.
10 episodes.
Because
series.
it could both be Billy and Nicholas.
It could. It could also be neither of them. But I feel like it has to be one or the other.
There's part of me that feels like he could just be Mephisto. Or an aspect of.
I think it would be the funniest thing in the world if Marvel pulled a haha gotcha, because Mephisto was theorized so much for WandaVision that now they're teasing him.
And I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past the writers.
I know, just to be like, fuck you. That would be crazy.
They do that shit.
Gotcha.
They would do that.
So there are, and there are still the theories I have about Rio, right? Because she could still be Lilith, right?
She could be.
She could still be Blackheart, a femme version of Blackheart, but Blackheart's usually depicted as a man. But she could still be Blackheart. That's about the end of that list. There's about 3 characters Rio could turn out to be at this point, if she's someone already established.
There's also like 3 or 4 characters that Teen could be.
Right. Though, because of visuals we've seen in trailers, whatever Teen is, Teen ends up becoming Wiccan, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's Billy. Because we've seen, or at least he wears the costume at some point.
In the trailer, you can see it, but they also have, I think it's Agatha is dressed up like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Right, yeah. There's a whole bunch of pop culture stuff there. So it could just be a tongue-in-cheek reference, like having not Quicksilver dress as Quicksilver in their Halloween episode.
Not Quicksilver.
I can't remember the first name. It was something Boner. And people were pissed.
I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, it was something Boner. But yeah, they had not Flash dress as Flash. Not Flash, Quicksilver. So it could be one of those things too, and like a huge redirect.
What was your name? Now I'm curious. Why are you not telling me?
Also, Wiccan makes slightly less sense for that character to become overall, and this is kind of something I've been thinking about, primarily because Wiccan has innate powers. Everything Teen does is through research and study. He has his own little copy of the Darkhold, everything he knows about magic that he carries around with him. In episode 1, he doesn't let Agatha have it because she threw his pen out the window. Actually, that's really good. Can you write that down? She takes the pen and throws it, and she reaches for the book. And he's like, No.
Yeah, no.
I'm keeping that. That's mine.
That's so funny.
That's and it's the little things like that, right?
He's
And
so Gen Z, and I love it.
Why does he know so much and so little?
I know.
And that's
He's
what kind
both
of makes
smart
me
and
think the
stupid.
possession, because when they need something, he has an answer. Like, he leads them to an answer almost every time, including when Agatha was recruiting her coven in the first place. He had all the solutions to get these other witches on side. But he's also such a fucking moron.
Right.
And that's
he's so Gen Z.
Well, but that kind of makes me think possession too. You know what I mean? Because that dichotomy is too large.
Right.
Which means he could both be Billy Kaplan, Wiccan, Wanda's son, and Agatha's son. I doubt it.
Lesbians.
Yeah, well, the good news is we can find out on Disney Plus because the new episode is live as of 30 minutes ago. 25.
What is the title of the episode?
I don't know. I would have to.
I wonder if they're going to make us wait until the last episode to reveal who he is.
They'll do it second to last.
Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power.
So this is probably going to be the Divination Witch. Which
I would think so. I would think so.
And is her trial, do we know, is her trial the one with all the costumes, do we think? Or will that be somebody else? Who else do they have?
Probably going to do it. They'll probably do the one with all the costumes closer to Halloween just because
you know
it's
what?
Halloween.
That's fair.
Lilia.
I just want to see everybody in those costumes.
They did Jen's. They did Alice. Who else?
So we have Lilia, Rio, and Agatha.
The older lady whose name
that's Lilia.
Lilia. Okay.
Lilia.
So yeah, they just have Lilia, Rio, and Agatha. So Lilia probably is next, and then Agatha, and then Rio.
Teen might get one.
I was going to say, what about Teen?
Teen is not part of the coven.
Is he not?
No.
Although, what if...
They needed 5 witches to open the road, implying there are 5 trials, 1 for each witch.
Right.
Teen has yet to actively participate in any of the trials.
That's true, because he was upstairs when they opened the door the first time. But fucking Mrs. Hart, Sharon
Davis. Sharon.
Who's Sharon?
I keep calling her Mrs. Hart, and I'm like, that's not her name, but like Agatha keeps doing it.
Fucking Kitty Foreman.
She got
dead. I was to say not a big That 70s Show crowd here.
I like That 70s Show. I like That 70s Show to a point. It gets weird in like the last when Eric leaves.
Yeah,
that's when the show gets bad.
A little weird. Yeah.
Is that Ashton Kutcher?
No, that's Topher Grace.
That's Topher Grace.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know the characters' names.
He did leave to be Venom because he cut his hair.
And it was a choice to be in that movie.
Spider-Man 3 is great.
I liked it as a kid, but now I realize it's a train wreck, that it's a car crash you can't stop watching.
Yeah. True.
But to be fair, that car crash is the result of a glider crash in previous.
Fair.
I'll get you, Spider-Man!
We got about... He fucking Skeletor again.
My bones!
It's funny how everything kind of sounds like Skeletor. We got about 30 minutes left. Do we want to move on to our music segment?
Yes.
Yes. Did you want
All right.
to do the news first?
Yeah. So, within the last day, we are hearing from all the reputable websites that music is reported on. It is being reported that Limp Bizkit has filed what seems to be a $200 million lawsuit against Universal Music Group. Fred Durst has been cited for saying that they have unpaid royalty. Um,
And that's
as
really all we know.
Yeah, that's all the information we have, but we are definitely going to be keeping tabs on this because this is kind of a big fucking deal. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. We will keep you guys updated throughout the coming weeks on anything that comes out of that. We also have the inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The 2024 class features Mary J. Blige, Cher, Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang, Ozzy Osbourne, and A Tribe Called Quest. The musical excellence category awards will be going to Jimmy Buffett, MC5, Dionne Warwick, Norman Whitfield. Musical influence awards: Alex Corner, John Mayall, and Big Mama Thornton. And one more award, I think it was Ahmet Ertegun
The
award.
Ahmet
I'm sorry if we
Ertegun
yeah.
Award, I believe.
If we butchered that, I'm sorry, but it is going to Suzanne DePace. I don't know how the fuck Ozzy hasn't been
Right? Like, that's
inducted.
the one that surprises me. Foreigner just now making it, sure. Dave Matthews Band makes a lot of sense. Cher, why the fuck is she getting invited?
Because Cher is one of the best-selling artists of all time.
I'm gonna get this right this time. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. He bit
Yes.
the head off a bat on stage.
Yeah. Whether it was a real bat or a fake bat, there's still some debate, but knowing Ozzy, there's a
Only
chance
remembering.
it was
He says
Only
it was a
remembering
real
that
bat,
because that's
but he's
direct-
also a showman at heart.
and he was also on meth.
True.
Yeah, that's a direct quote from Stranger Things season 4. That's the only reason I'm remembering that information.
Well, and the last time you said it, we were like, "No, that's not true." It's wrong.
Yeah,
Wrong.
I mixed up. I mixed up Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne.
You did.
My bad.
And Gene Simmons isn't even the lead singer of Kiss.
He's the only name in that band I know.
That's fair. But Ozzy is also, I believe, a Hall of Famer with Black Sabbath. So
Yes.
him getting in on his own. I feel like he fucking Frampton's already in.
He's in with somebody too, though, I think.
I feel like he's already in. Because he was with the Herd. I don't know if they end up making it in. He might not be. You know who I'm thinking of is probably Clapton.
Yeah.
Um,
All those guitar players look alike to me. I'm kidding.
That's fair.
Though also kind of.
Because the Yardbirds aren't in. And no, the Yardbirds aren't, but I'm pretty sure Cream is. Cream is in. That's yeah. Cream is in, and Clapton is also not in by himself. But I'm shocked. Listen, there's a lot of people on here that I'm happy to see A Tribe Called Quest finally getting some love. Ozzy, Cool in the Gang, Frampton, Foreigner. Why Dave Matthews Band? Mary J is the queen of fucking R&B, and that will never change. And Cher is, again, one of the best-selling artists of all time.
Just
If you
don't go
love
on
her or
ski
hate
trips
her.
with her.
She wasn't on the ski trip when Sonny died.
She wasn't? I thought they
I don't
went
think
together.
No, because they were divorced by then.
Oh.
And when I get old, I'm calling Cher's plastic surgeon. Either
She looked
hers
like
or
shit.
Dolly's.
Why? They both look...
Because I think... No, they both look great.
They both look fake.
They both look great.
Okay.
Dolly looks better than Cher.
Agreed.
I just will not
Dolly
be
looks way
calling
better.
Joan Rivers doctor.
Joan Rivers
Or I
had
don't
enough
mean to
work that
speak-
she didn't feel her face
You know,
anymore.
don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but Joan Rivers...
Yeah. Oh, Dave, for the record, Sonny Bono died in like 98. By that point, it had been almost 30 years after he got divorced from Cher.
Well, then don't go skiing with him. It's a downer.
Well, you can't because he's dead.
Don't dig up his corpse and go skiing with it. It's a downer.
It's a downer.
Also, don't go anywhere with Tom Hanks or Sandra Bullock. They'll get home safe, but who knows what'll happen to you.
That's so true. You ever seen any movie they're in ever?
You know what? That's fair.
I'll say Sully, Saving Private Ryan,
Fucking Castaway?
Castaway.
Castaway.
But
And then
Sandra
Bird
Bullock's in
Box
Miss
for Sandra
Congeniality.
Bullock.
And I'll let
Yeah.
most of those girls come home with me,
Bird
including Sandra Bullock.
Bird Box was so bad, though.
It wasn't bad. It was just...
It was bad.
told-
Let's
You know
not
what's scarier than
pretend
Bird
that it was
Box?
good. Nothing.
That Sandra Bullock is in. You know what's scarier than Bird Box?
Premonition.
The Net.
The Net.
So she's a shut-in who does remote work, and then her identity gets stolen. But since nobody knows who the fuck she is, she can't convince anybody she's the real her. It's a story from it's a movie from the early 90s. I want to say 92, 93.
It was a show in
No,
95.
it was a movie featuring
No,
Sandra Bullock.
There's a movie? Because I'm not seeing a movie. They had a show in 95 or 98 that was based on the movie. Yeah. I've never seen this movie. Where the fuck were we? How did we get to
pretty good.
Bird Box?
Um,
I don't even know what
because y'all
the
were
fuck is
talking about-
happening.
no, because we were talking about Cher, and Dave said don't go anywhere with Cher, and then I said don't go anywhere with Tom Hanks or Sandra Bullock. Yeah, my bad.
When we roll so off topic, and I'm like, where the fuck even
Where
are
did we
we?
start?
Yeah.
Dude, that's how my brain works.
I believe the induction for the Rock Hall of Fame is this weekend.
I believe so,
Or
yes.
Next weekend, I think. But yeah, let us go to our songs of the week. Bree.
My song of the week is called I Hope by Jay Lewis. If you have not heard this song, I am a bad person and I am dedicating it to most of the people I work with. We'll start with the first two lyrics. I hope you order Dr. Pepper and they give your ass Coke. I hope you eat 2 Popeyes biscuits and you choke. I can't say any more lyrics because they get problematic. But yeah, I'm dedicating that
all I'm
song.
going to say is that sounds like a hardcore version of I'll Pray For You. I pray your brakes go out running down a hill. Pray. Yeah, okay.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm here for that. I also
yeah.
really like I Pray For You, which is also problematic for, I'm assuming, very different reasons.
the next lyric in the song involves something that's not TikTok, is not Twitch appropriate. So yeah.
Do you need a hug, Bree?
Hug.
Like,
Yes, because yeah.
Sending
I'll tell
virtual
y'all
hugs
after.
and virtual
sending
drugs.
all the virtual hugs, bro.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all after.
Dave, what is your song of the week?
It's Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz. It has been Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz before. It will be Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz again. And it will happen whenever someone lets me out of my cage. Because top of me is nothing because I'm counting no age. Fucking
I
love
miss
that song.
blasting that fucking song randomly at work. When I worked at the liquor store, I'd have control over the radio, and there'd be times I'm like, you know what? Put on fucking Clint Eastwood, and I'm just vibing.
Make sure that you don't work there anymore, but you know what you should have blasted?
What?
New hit single "Smooth" by Carlos Santana
Hey,
and
Rob Thomas.
Rob Thomas. I was like, we have made this joke so many times. Why can I never remember the other name?
I mean, I used to blast metal, which was everyone was like, "Fuck yeah!" And once I left, everyone was like, the personality is leaving this place. My boss, I even visited my boss before. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? And he's like, "Yeah, this place is boring." I was like, "Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you should have treated me better.
Should have paid me, motherfucker." But no.
Yeah.
My song of the week is another song I used to blast at work. It is "The River" by Good Charlotte featuring M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. This
Also a
song
good.
is a fucking banger. Oh my god. Prime Good Charlotte.
famous for
Famous in Bree's brain for iCarly because she wasn't even old enough to know how awesome they were. Their first album came out, you were like
in the same episode with Harry Shum Jr.
Shout out Harry Shum Jr.
I both love and hate that you have introduced me to this fact, Chris.
You're welcome.
All thanks to Shadowhunter Sunday.
All thanks to Shadowhunter Sunday. Yeah, no, listen, Good Charlotte's a great pop punk band. If you guys haven't listened to them, I highly recommend. They fucking kill it. I don't think they've put out a new album in a long 2018 was their last one. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bree, your music corner, my friend.
So we continue spooky season this week with someone who's famous for scoring a lot of movies, but we're going to focus on Psycho because it's Bernard Herrmann, who is a famous American composer who, like I said, did the score for Psycho, which is another one of the most iconic horror themes of all time because you can't go without somebody knowing what you're referencing. His score has also been imitated and referenced in multiple horror movies, most famously probably Friday the 13th, which it's not a complete imitation, but it is very inspired by. And also for me, hilariously enough, it is basically this movie called Reanimator, which is another horror movie, just takes the Psycho theme and speeds it up and adds heaviness to it, and it's the Psycho theme. And they're like, no, this is the Reanimator theme, and everybody's like, no, it's just the Psycho theme sped up or slowed down, one of those two. So yes, it is one of the most famous horror scores of all time, outside of John Carpenter's Halloween score. But yeah, that shower scene.
Oh yeah, the classic shower scene in Psycho.
So yeah, even if someone hasn't seen Psycho, even if they don't exactly know that that's from Psycho, everybody knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bernard Herrmann. He also did a couple other things. He did a couple more Alfred Hitchcock movies. I accidentally closed out the tab to say some of the other things, but yeah, we're focusing on spooky season, so
Happy spooky time, bitches. He
and
also
Spooky.
composed The Twilight Zone,
that's
Cape
it.
Fear,
The
Citizen
Twilight Zone
Kane.
remake or
No. Rod
You
Sterling's
realize
version of The Twilight Zone.
do what?
Said Rod Sterling's The Twilight Zone, so the original Twilight Zone.
The original Twilight Zone that started when TV was still in black and white?
You realize Bernard Herrmann died in 1905.
19
He
when?
did the score for Psycho.
75.
Oh, you're talking. I was thinking she was talking about the guy who did the Psycho remake.
No.
No. Ew.
No
disrespect to Vince Vaughn or Gus Van Sant. No disrespect to any of them, but ew.
It was bad. It was fucking bad.
I never
It's
saw
the
it. I
same
liked
movie,
the first
just
one.
in color.
Yeah. He also composed Orson Welles' The Mercury Theater on Air.
Oh,
which
Citizen Kane. He also did Citizen Kane.
he did Citizen
That's what
Kane.
I was.
Yeah.
Because you said, ow.
Orson Welles.
Yeah. Ow.
See,
The
you said
Birds he
Orson
did,
Welles, and the first thing I thought of was The War of the Worlds.
which is what Mercury Theater on Air was. That's ultimately the most famous story, and we've talked about it a few times. If you guys have never listened to the War of the Worlds broadcast, it's wild. It's one of the most important pieces in entertainment history, I think, considering
so there are a lot of rules about how to broadcast a fictional news program because of it now.
Because of that, yeah. But anyway, you were saying, Bray.
No, I was just, yeah. I think that was it. But I just wanted to I'm running out. I should have saved Ice Nine Kills for spooky season. I didn't think about it. I am now just running into not random composers, but like they did one horror movie.
Ice Nine Kills again.
That's
I'll
it.
talk about them. I will gladly sit here and talk about them with you.
At this point, I'm gonna start pulling out John Williams because yes, I know a lot of people do not count Jaws and Jurassic Park as horror movies, but those are horror movies to me. So
Jaws
I'm doing
is a
John
horror
Williams
movie.
at some point.
Jaws is 100%
Jaws
a horror movie.
Absolutely a horror movie. I might watch that
Yes.
tonight.
So,
And
yeah,
Jurassic Park is a action adventure movie with horror themes, I would say,
Yeah,
which still makes
giant
it
fucking
qualify.
Dinosaurs.
Well, and the way some of those scenes are shot, like when the T-Rex is with the glass roof and the kids screaming, and I saw that in the drive-in, and the T-Rex was 20 fucking feet tall on screen. Fuck.
And that wasn't supposed to happen. So the kids are actually screaming in real fear because the glass was the thing was not supposed to break.
Right.
And it did.
And it's the whole thing. I'm glad they kept that scene. It's great. However, like 10-year-old Dave, or how fucking ever old I was when I saw that movie in the drive-in, we had to replace the seat in the back of the station wagon. Mostly because I threw my drink and the nachos. Everything was fine until the glass popped. And then I threw my shit, which freaked my brother out, and he threw his shit. We didn't actually have to replace the seat. We did have to do a lot of cleaning, though. I was very wet for the rest of the movie.
Phrasing.
From soda being spilled on me by myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something else that is factual and non-sexual. I'm usually by myself when I get wet. I'm most frequently wet in the shower.
We're moving on before Dave continues saying whatever he's saying. Our
Balls.
musician of the week segment is brought to you by us because we came up with this.
Is brought to you by that new hit single "Smooth" by Rob
Smooth.
Thomas and Carlos Santana. They are not our musician of the week.
They are not. But I mean, Carlos Santana has been our musician of the week.
I think Rob Thomas
I'll give
has
you
too.
a hint. That's your hint.
Is that the only song you know by them?
I might know another one, but that's probably the only one.
Okay. Yeah. So our musician of the week this week is Outkast. They were a hip hop duo comprised of Big Boy and Andre 3000. They are one of the most successful hip hop duos of all time. They had
so fresh and so clean.
Miss Jackson, I imagine you know. Yes. I know. I say "So Fresh, So Clean," which is like my favorite fucking song by them. They did a song with Rage Against the Machine, "Bombs Over Baghdad."
Yeah.
They are one of the most successful rap groups of all time, rap duos of all time, having certified sales of 20 million records between 6 studio albums, a compilation album, as well as have earned 6 Grammys. They are Rolling Stone ranked them on number 7 of its 20 greatest duos of all time. Other publications such as Pitchfork has listed them among like the top 3 of hip hop acts ever. They were together. They formed in Atlanta, Georgia in 1992. They broke up in 2007, only to do a reunion tour in 2014 that started at Coachella. It was to celebrate the 20th anniversary of, I believe, the Stankonia album. But
did you just say Stankonia?
Stankonia.
Stankonia. It's the Stankonia album.
It's the same shit, Dave.
Hi,
hey, what's up, D?
Happy birthday!
Hi, D. Happy birthday. I think
Hey,
it might have been
boss.
the Speaker Box album. Because in 2014, that would have been 20th anniversary for sure. Yeah, they kind of split up after that, did their own thing. Andre kind of went on his own, started acting. Andre 3000 kind of did other stuff. What was the other group that he was fucking in? God, I can't remember.
Black Eyed Peas?
No, he wasn't in Black Eyed Peas.
He wasn't in Black Eyed Peas, but didn't he do a couple of tracks with them?
No, not that I remember. Who the fuck?
No, because the Black Eyed Peas was Fergie. I always get the Black Eyed Peas and Outkast confused.
The who?
Don't ask why. There's no reason for it.
Dungeon Family. I looked up Andre 3000 groups and it says Outkast and Dungeon Family.
No, I'm talking about Big Boy. Andre did his own thing, and then Big Boy went on his. Big Boy was in a couple other groups.
Well, it says Andre 3000, Future, Big Boy, CeeLo Green.
I don't remember them working together after they left. After the group broke
also,
up.
Did you just say Andre 3000, Big Boy, Future, and CeeLo Green were all in a group together?
That's what this says.
When the fuck did that happen? Because that sounds like a super group that was put together for an event.
1991.
That was early enough that might have just been dudes hanging out. Okay.
Yeah, I was to say that was before them. That all happened before Outkast even started.
Yeah.
Purple Ribbon All Stars. Jesus Christ. That was taking me forever to remember. But I mean, there was a bunch of people that were in that. the top 3 just to name a few people that were involved in that. Big Boy, Killer Mike, Janelle Monáe, Bubba Sparks was in there. Sleepy Brown. It was part of the Dungeon family. They had a few good tracks. Dave, I was to say you and I have talked about Outcast a few times.
Yes. My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure. So Hey Ya is good, but my favorite song by them has to be The Way You Move.
Oh, that's
I
a
like
great
the
song.
way you move. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, I do know that one. I know more Outcast
It's so
songs than I
good.
thought.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so
you probably
good.
know a shit ton because they had a bunch
And
of
then
hits. Roses. I know you like to think your shit don't stank, but lean a little bit closer, say roses really smell like ooh ooh ooh.
Okay.
so fresh and so clean,
Yeah.
clean. It's
Hey
all I
Ya,
remember from that song.
My favorite part of Hey Ya, when it's in the background, he goes, I want to hear you see all on your baddest behavior. Give me some sugar. I am your neighbor.
Shake it,
Oh,
shake
dude,
it,
they
shake
are
it,
so
shake it,
they're so fucking good.
shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Hey yo. They put out their last album came out, Idlewild came out in 2006, which had Idlewild Blue might be my favorite song on that album. I'm trying to think what other big songs were on here. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into fucking.
For Bree, she needs to see this video. Chat can't see or hear it.
Oh my god.
Hold on, it's loading.
You're welcome.
Come on here. I think on that note, I think that's all we got for you guys today.
I think it is. Outcast is great.
Outcast is great. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you are hanging out with us on Twitch, if you are enjoying what you saw, feel free to hit that follow button. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Lets you know anytime we upload anything new. If you guys want to follow us on our socials, you can find us. Is it just not working now? Oh, or it helps if I actually do it right. Better.
I was gonna say
Check us
that
out on our
was an L,
socials.
I think, bud.
Yeah, it was bad.
L socials.
Thank you for them 100 biddies. Appreciate you, D. If you guys want to check out our merch store, make sure you're doing that. We got some fun stuff up over there. Also, be on the lookout. Season 3 of Pucked Up has finally returned. We've got a lot of stuff going on over there, as well as a cool new layout. Shout out to Danger. It's where Danger, myself, and D get to talk hockey, and we sucked Dave into a fantasy hockey league.
How is Dave doing on that, by the way?
You had a pretty big day yesterday, I think it was.
I haven't looked. Let me look. It's been a couple of days since I looked.
Yeah, you had a big day yesterday. I mean, I did too, thankfully. The hard part is right now is the fact that
holy shit.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well. You had a player with 6 points. You and I have scored the most points out of anyone.
I'm just saying, and none of my guys are injured. I'm just saying.
We're also like 3 games into an 82 game season.
Okay, and I understand that. But also, there were at least 3 people complaining that half their team got injured.
Dude, yeah, there were some brutal fucking injuries. Your team isn't bad. There's a lot of players I question, but your team really isn't that bad. And with a 10-team league, it's hard to have a bad team. It's very easy to have one person have a stacked team. But in a 10, anywhere from 8 to 10, there's no really bad team. Unless you're like Marcello and draft strictly Bruins players.
Right. His
Which
team
has
is bad.
zero benefit. But he's got like 24 points right now. But the Bruins also scored like 4 goals yesterday. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Bree, you want to hit us with that tagline?
Until we see y'all again, keep it simple, stay weird. Happy Leaf Erickson Day. Yinga dinga durgan. Bye, guys.